I want to apologize for two things right off the bat. One, me single-handedly ruining a Christmas concert in 2013. Sound warning. Every single year, Facebook reminds me of that one December night in 2013 in the Little Theater, and I will never live it down. I have no good explanation for it today. I think I was just trying to be funny. Ironically, I never laugh when I listen back. The second thing I want to apologize for is one day my friend and I in choir had a competition to see who can make someone else in the choir laugh first with our singing before being called out. I think I won because I think we were singing Yonder Come Day, and I was using like a extremely over-exaggerated country accent, and it was such a delicate dance because you want to sound silly so someone else laughs, but not so out of tune that Cisto will stop the whole song and call you out. So I think it sounded something like, yonder come day, days are breaking, yonder come day, oh my soul. Season 3 of Derapy. Just that 5-second clip that you heard from the intro of my show, I was thinking about Cisto when I was creating it because I had all these different vocal tracks that I had to blend together into a harmony. Didn't write it, still can't read music, don't really understand musical notes or composition or anything like that. I would just sing season 3 of Derapy and I would do it over and over and over again in like different pitches or octaves. I never really even understood the difference. It's like, are we raising the pitch? Are we raising the octave? Are we raising the, I don't know. I don't know anything about music. I don't know how I was in choir for 4 years, but I think the reason why I thought I could get away with doing that thing at the Christmas concert or singing Yonder Come Day, like the countryest person in America, is because I was one of only like 3 or 4 guys in choir all the time. First of all, just the fact that Cisto was able to make us all sound like a cohesive group when there are like 900 girls in choir and like 4 men. I don't understand how we can all always be heard. How does she do that? Do we just stand in front? Do we just sing louder? I don't get it. How does that work? How does she do it? I don't know. One incredible thing about being in choir with Cisto is just the fact that everybody knows who's like really, really good at singing. If you're in choir for literally 1 week, both of your ears are functioning like at a normal level, you recognize immediately who the best singer or the top 2 or 3 singers in choir are. They also make themselves known because they just won't stop singing, because we will be rehearsing and then the song will end and they'll just be singing in between the songs, or there'll be downtime in the beginning of class or downtime at the end of class. And they're just, hey, can we play a song on the piano? Can we just sing? Can we just keep singing? Is it cool if we just keep singing? And like, I get it. Like, you love singing and we like hearing you sing to like a certain extent, but let's be real. Like, there were a couple of people, even when I was in choir, that it was very obvious that they were better than the rest of us. But I'm 25. They're about my age now. And guess what they're doing? They are not professional singers. So wow, let's just slow our roll here, okay?
Big hater vibes.
Look at me being a hater about things that happened 8 to 10 years ago. Choir is incredible. I think about choir all the time. Just subconsciously, I hear songs on the radio and I create custom harmonies to it. I hear the national anthem and I'm like, you know what would make this national anthem better? If a choir was singing it. I think about this stuff all the time. It's ridiculous. You know what's a crazy thing about choir? There was all this drama that would go on in choir, and I don't really understand ever why it would happen. Actually, yes, I do. Yeah. Because I think just the sheer fact that there are just a very small amount of men and there are like a great amount of women. I just don't think you can have that many girls in a room together at once and not expect some type of drama. And I would never even really know what it was about half the time. And I don't know how we decided to collectively like keep this stuff in-house.
What happens in choir?
But the rest of the school doesn't know about the choir drama. Like, it just occurred to me this morning that
stays in choir.
All these crazy dramatic, gossipy, rumory things would be happening in choir. People would be screaming and crying because all these cliques naturally form in choir. The sopranos hang out, the altos hang out, the guys hang out. There's always these cliques in choir, inevitably. And there are just so many girls.
She got another solo.
It's just,
she always gets picked.
One really interesting thing that Cisto did that I actually think helped a lot of us is she really didn't get involved in anything at all. Like, I think I dated 1, 2, 3,
terrible.
At least 3 girls in choir I dated.
And then what happened?
I think that any teacher would realize that that is like
an unhealthy pattern,
not normal, or you could argue maybe even a little bit of an issue. Cisto never talked to me about any relationship that I ever had ever with anyone. A true professional. I don't know if she just didn't care, which is understandable because I'm a child, or if it's just like she knew that it was best not to get involved. Also, there was a high turnover rate with choir relationships. I don't know a single choir relation. Okay, there's like one, I think, that I can think of that like ever makes it out of high school. It's just crazy.
Looking at me sideways, y'all can hit the highway. Spotify and Apple hear me anywhere in the tri-state. I am like a fly plane, I will never die, man. They say I'm just rambling, but I'm just playing my strength.
One incredible thing about Cisto as a choir teacher is just the fact that she knew more than anyone who was a good singer and who wasn't, but she never made anybody feel like they couldn't hit a note. She would just like move them to a different section for a particular song, or she would just like give them a different assignment, like not a non-singing assignment, but like, for example, if there was a note that I couldn't hit as a tenor as I got older, as I was going through puberty, she wouldn't say, oh, you can't hit that note, so sing this. She would say, we're gonna put you with the basses today, or maybe just on this song, because we feel like your voice would be more productive and valuable in this section of the choir, or for whatever reason. And she would never tell a soprano that they weren't a good singer. She might just move them down to alto just quietly or subtly one day. She's like, I think you have a better voice for the altos. And it's like, I don't want to make it seem like all sopranos are better than all altos, because that's not true. Some sopranos couldn't sing all that well either, but they just had higher pitched voices in general. And it's just crazy how she would always maneuver these things in a way that didn't offend anybody. Somehow, throughout all my years there, when people got switched from soprano or to alto or alto to soprano, nobody would ever complain, because like she knows best, and obviously she does because she studies music and we're all kids. But it's just interesting how she always did it in a way that never really hurt anybody. And whenever there was drama, it was always between the singers. It never had anything to do with her. Now, there was a point where because there are people that are better than singing than everybody else in the choir, they wouldn't necessarily get special privileges, but there was this piano, and it's Cisto's piano, and it was my understanding that that's the piano that she plays when we are rehearsing. But there were certain students that she allowed to play that piano, and I don't know if it's just because they were the only ones that knew how to play piano, or if it's just because they were the best singers in the class. But they were always using her piano, and they were always singing, and they were always also singing the same songs. It's like, dude, we get it. You can sing. And if you can play piano that well, that means you probably have a piano at wherever you learn piano, or maybe at your own home. So you don't have to pull up here every day and play the piano and belt out these notes every single day. Stop playing the same songs. And it's like, sometimes I get it. We're practicing for a talent show. That makes sense. But the concert that we're about to have is, we're not singing any Bruno Mars songs. So like, what are you doing there?
Whoa, chill.
I don't know if that's still going on in choir, if Cisto is still letting like certain students use her piano. But to me, I was always just like, all right, man, we get it.
I'm Lil Dicky if he took rap serious. Black, what I am, never been to Hogwarts, but I'm curious.
One really cool thing that Cisto would do, if somebody ever sounded bad or they couldn't hit a note or they were out of tune, she would be like, okay, stop. I just want to hear from the sopranos. And then if the sopranos sound fine, she's like, I just want to hear from the altos. And then if she still heard the problem, she's like, okay, so this, like, we've isolated the issue to one section. And then she would like, she still doesn't want to call anybody out because she's good. She's got a big heart. She's a great teacher.
Great teacher.
So she's like, all right, I want you 3 altos to sing this part. And then they would sing it and it would still sound good. And she's like, okay, I want you 3 altos to sing this part. And then they would sing it and then it would still sound bad. So at this point, she knows exactly who it is, but she's still not going to point them out because like we're all watching. So she would either either cut that section in half and like move them to a different section, or she would give them like different notes to sing. And she would never ever individually go up to somebody and be like, okay, so it's you. Like she would never ever do that. In my 4 years there, not once ever did she put anybody down or tell them that they can't sing or they shouldn't be there or they couldn't participate in that song. She was always so nice about it. I don't know how she did that. I don't know, like I would forget sometimes. And she would have bad days. Like I know she had a family. She had like a husband or a child or 2 or whatever. And at one point while we were there, she was pregnant. And it's like, now that I'm an adult and I'm out, like I'm not in choir, like I know what it's like to be at a place that's not work or school. I can only imagine what it's like to have to deal with the stresses of like everyday life as an adult, and then also come in and deal with these kids, and especially kids like me every day that are like,
Yonder come day, boy.
just putting up with all that, girls screaming and crying because they feel like they're being left out or excluded, or people making each other feel bad because they can't sing that well, or dealing with kids that are in choir that never even really wanted to be choir. That's something that I completely forgot about, by the way. Somehow or another, there's always like 90 to 95% of people that are in choir actually want to be in choir, but there's always like one dude and like 3 or 4 girls that like just have no business being in choir. Like they didn't want to be in it. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. 4 years worth of stuff, 4 years worth of drama, 4 years worth of solos and cliques and relationships and harmony and people feeling like they were being favored or mistreated, and in actuality, like none of it's really happening. Like I know that it's natural that like teachers will have favorite students, and I don't think they actually like students more than other students. I think that those students just give them the least amount of problems. And Cisto did such a good job of making us all feel like we were important, and I will never ever forget the fact that she let me ruin that Christmas concert and there were no consequences from it. Like she didn't even walk up to me afterwards and be like, hey. So that was a little, I mean, you know, some people might have found that funny, but hey, it really wasn't. And hey, maybe let's never do that again. And she was well within her right to do that, and she didn't. She just allowed it. The last thing I want to talk about from choir is Talent Day. I hope this is still going on because it was one of my all-time favorite things about choir. Every Friday, if we had a good week, if there wasn't a concert coming up we needed to seriously prepare for, we'd have Talent Day. And Cisto would allow individuals or groups of individuals to perform whatever song they wanted. It became more than that, though. So my best friend and I, fellow tenor of mine, we were really big into rap, and I still am. And we used this opportunity to compete, essentially have like a rap battle. He caught me by surprise first. Everyone was just singing and singing and singing week after week after week. And then one day he just shows up out of the blue and just raps this original song that he wrote. And the girls in there are losing it, like standing ovation. I had no idea he was going to do this. I was actually kind of like really annoyed. So next week I had my own rap prepared, and it was basically like a diss track. And just the fact that Cisto even allowed not only solo performances, but people to use her piano. She let people do spoken word. She let my friend and I rap. It was very symbolic of the class and the environment that she had for us there. She allowed people to express themselves in whatever way made them feel comfortable through music and also through dialogue. She would talk to any of us. She would let any of us talk, and we could speak our mind either about the music that we were performing or about any current events that were happening either at the school or around the world. And because of that, I will never forget the impact that she had on my life. Like I just hope that she understands that like what goes on in choir like sticks with people forever. She didn't just contribute to my love of music, but also just my tolerance for human beings in general. Just the fact that she has a whole family of her own and continues to create such a great environment for hundreds, probably thousands of kids at this point since I've been there in her class. It's just as admirable as it gets. So, okay, that's enough. Listen to this rap that I wrote when I was 16 and Cisto let me perform in her class. And also, if you're a current student of hers, don't do anything that I talked about doing in this podcast. All right, okay, later. Enjoy. Okay, I wrote this rap when I was 16, and I don't have it written down in front of me. I'm just going to try and do it off the top, just in one take. Government name is Derek Buxton. For this rap man, call me D-Bucks. The beat is over, super hard like Vin Diesel in a sequel. Nowhere near the end, I promise you, it's just a prequel. If there's any competition, sure they're annoying like a sequel. Equal, no, I'm more than the average amount of talent, and I balance between good and great. Make no mistake, no profane, I'm always staying in my lane, but it's the fast one. You could call me Eminem, but with the tan, I'm the black one. What? No, it's not cockiness, it's just confidence. Y'all soft as land, I spark like flint. This rap sound a little holy, but it's not heaven sent. Y'all are like some rules that are way easy to break up in. Go ahead and tweet it, type a text and send, cause after this, I'm sure you'll wanna run this research. Tell a friend who's evidence. I'm spitting rich, but always staying relevant. I fix it up and mix it like some Nesquik. Like DJ Khaled, I'm always ready here and prep to win. I'm sifting through these haters in turns like I'm the president, and I'm getting hype on the mic like I'm a reverend. No pretend, this is always real and surprising like a present. Where is your medal now? Settle down and take a look around. Call me Jay or Kanye, cause you know I always run the town tonight. Where's the fight? I'm thinking it might be a knockout. Work is all done here, fellas, let me clock out. Where are all your fans now? Did they just walk out? So I'm sitting on my throne and I'm chilling in my pad and I'm all up in this beat. Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? Where's the resistance?
Feeling these dudes without much persistence, and I'm rhyming and I'm vibing without very much assistance. My opponents need an assistant, cause I swear they handicap, and I'm just prowling on the people like a sneak attack. Read it back, don't sleep on me, no insomniac. No rest going crazy up in here, can't you hear? No need to fear and control, know how to steer, oh my dear. I am not done, I'm just having a bit of fun in this vicinity. I'm the first, second, and third, that's a trilogy. Now let me finish like some dishes, think I just clean your platter plane. Trying to reach me, think you gon' need a ladder, man. Asking who's next in the game. Only one person who's bearing that name. Name's Derek Buxton, usually do it in the name of Derapy. But if I never knew Cisto, it never sounds so clean.